So you see, the aim and act system is a conceptual model. It can be used in other areas. Let's talk about a real practical example, okay? Here's a company. This is a recent example, by the way. Company was sold in 2016. The guy on the left, friend of mine, Wyatt Geist. He was a top spine implant instrument salesman. And he had an idea about instruments that could save time and be safer for physicians to do surgery. And he developed these products, and they were patented and FDA approved. And he started Safewire. His goal was to build the company up to $10 million and then sell it off, okay? And the products were proven to be successful. They did everything they were promised, but they were very, very expensive. And by 2014, he had grown the revenue to about $2.2 million in sales, but with a $1.1 million loss. And the company was out of money. So they can't raise the price, they can't lower the cost. They're losing $1.1 million. So Wyatt invited me to come in. I knew Wyatt because I was an investor in the company. I invested in 2010. And he asked me to come in and try to use the aim and act system to help him sell the company. All right? So first we assessed the company. We looked at what the goals were, met with the board of directors. We wanted to grow revenue. We needed to grow profit, but we were out of money, so we determined that funding was the top priority. Okay? We were able to quickly find a venture capital company that was willing to invest $1.4 million on reasonable terms. Okay? With that investment, we decided we need to improve the company, raise sales, and raise profits. But I told you, couldn't raise the price, and we couldn't lower our manufacturing costs. Anybody have any ideas on what we could do to try to build revenue, build profit? I fired the entire sales and marketing team, except for Wyatt. Anybody want to take a guess what happened to sales and revenue after I fired the entire sales and marketing team? Well, what happened was sales went up and profit went up. There was already enough momentum in the market for the company to continue its sales with just Wyatt talking to existing hospitals, people that liked the product, and without the big overhead and without the employee cost, we were able to raise profit. So in 2014, we were doing $2.1 million in sales and $1.1 million loss. By 2015, I'd helped the company get to $3.2 million with $600,000 in profit. At that point, we knew with that level of sales and with that level of profit that we could market this company to large spine implant companies that might like to have some really novel and interesting instruments. Now, these are billion-dollar companies. So we went around, we talked to 2 companies, and after multiple rounds of letters of intent, indication of interest, we then finally got to a purchase agreement with one of them, okay? But as luck would have it, we couldn't really get to the close because there was a quality problem with our one manufacturer that delayed the closing by more than 6 months. I think it was actually 8 months. Now, the deal could have blown up. They could have just walked away. But fortunately, different from Doyen, we had a contract that allowed for delays. We had considered this possibility, that there could be some delays in producing the product for this manufacturer. So we were able to go and close 6 months late, and we ended up getting a $10 million exit value. And Wyatt, because I was giving him advice and telling him about the aim and act system, he had already planned his transition. He had to stay on as a consultant, but he was also able to start a new company. And the day that the deal closed and we got the final checks, he was already ready to launch his next company. He was only 42 years old. He wasn't ready to retire. Again, they aimed on their targets, and they acted on their highest priorities, and they were able to have this successful exit. So maybe a better example than the couch example, right? So when people sell their business, it's not just about maximizing dollars. Can I have the next point? It's about leaving a legacy. It's also about people transitioning, how they can move to that next chapter of their life, because that's really important. You know, nobody golfs forever, nobody goes on a boat forever, nobody just sits at home and, you know, does a binge surfing on the TV or on Netflix, binge Netflix watching. They want to go on to the next chapter of life, and the next chapter of your life could be like Wyatt, could be a new business, another startup, do it bigger, do it better than last time, or it could be charity work. You're going to work as a businessman in charity or volunteer work, but there's definitely going to be a next chapter. So there's real importance when you work with business owners, or if you are business owners, to think about these things. And that's why I think this AIM and ACT system will help you, guide you a little bit as you start to get out there in the world and work with business owners and become business owners yourself. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it.